What is up, fellas? Hopefully all is well. Texas A&M Dynasty here, number 5 in the country after beating Oklahoma and Missouri. I went ahead and played Missouri. Got the Lone Star Showdown against a Texas team. I think Texas only has one loss still. It was just to Oklahoma itself. But not really all too impressive of games so far, or at least recently when it comes to Steve McGee. Still number 5 here in the Heisman watch, but you got Chad Henne, Colt Brennan, John David Booty, and right now, atop of all of them, wide receiver number 22 for John Parker Wilson, if I'm correct. But now, we officially have finalists for the awards. It's right there, just out of it. It's been an impressive season. No quarterbacks end up in the Maxwell Award, even though we have, 4 quarterbacks out of 5 for the Heisman. But we do have a race between, obviously we have a quarterback race. It's the Davey O'Brien Award. But Colt Brennan up front, number 2, Steve McGee, and then John David Booty right behind him for that one, Walker Award. It's, I don't remember who the running back was, but for Wisconsin itself, I think it's Mr. Hillis or something like that. I don't know. But for best tight end, just like we saw with Steve McGee, 4th for the Maxwell Award. Just outside now on 386 yards, only 17 catches. I think 4 or 5 touchdowns, might have been 6, I don't know, could be wrong. But tight end number 3, Martellus Bennett, does not make it as well. No one in Lombardi or expecting any offensive lineman either. Oddly enough, feel like we've had some pretty damn good outside linebackers represented right there, though, for Iowa. Right outside linebacker 42, but right there. We had 4 players in the semifinalists. Now we have 2 players out of 3 for the finalists. So, 4 of the top 7 performing secondary players in the country. I'll take that any day of the week. And then right there, with 2 finishing up as finalists for the awards. Our kicker is 2nd in the country right now as a finalist. And then top 2 returners in the country. Makes sense. Wide receiver number 8, and obviously Mike Goodson at running back. Iowa's coach ends up 11-1, so was B.J. Simmons. Is he overhyped for this team? No, fuck the hate. Fuck the haters out there. B.J. Simmons getting things done. And Iowa getting things done for this team, opening things off. But looks like Florida and USC are on a collision course, unless either one of them end up losing to, I think it's like UCLA is left for the rivalry here. But number 6 in the country, Texas A&M, 11-0, undefeated, 7-0 in conference play. Will we have a 3-way tie? Because A&M beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma's already beaten Texas. And then now if Texas ends up beating A&M and Steve McGee and company at home here in Kyle Field, we'll have to see who the favorite is for Lee Corso and company. We're looking at this game, but only 67 degrees, not cold, but definitely not hot, especially in Texas standards as well. Texas A&M at home, like I said, 10-1 UT, led by young Colt McCoy. I think he's a sophomore. Colt McCoy, sophomore Jordan Shipley as well. Going up against now what turns out to be the better performer, at least for this season, Stephen McGee. This offense has been highly efficient. Not a ton of yards, not an amazing amount of yards on the running game as well. However, though, speaking of the running game, Lee Corso does pick Texas A&M to win this one. I think most of us are just hoping for Texas A&M to win this one. We'll have to see how it ends up right here against Sergio Kindle in this defense with Brian Arakpo as well for Texas. But Javorsky Lane will be out for this game. Today, Mike Goodson will have the backfield to himself. And to start it out, Texas decides to defer to the next half, and immediately will be a 25-yard run. Mike Goodson, you can tell the difference on the outside. I don't think Javorsky Lane is getting past that 10-yard mark right there. I'm pretty sure he gets tripped up by Sergio Kindle. But however, though, it is not Javorsky Lane on the field. It is one of the better playmakers in all of college football, in my opinion. He's definitely going to next season. He's only a sophomore, no redshirt on that either. 2nd on the team in total rushing yards behind Javorsky Lane. 3rd on the team in total rushing touchdowns. But who gives a fiddler's fuck right now? This Texas A&M team is marching down the field. But however, though, Stephen McGee It's going to be put to a halt. Martellus Bennett isn't able to chase him down. Mike Goodson going to try to chase down right outside linebacker number 38, and it's going to be 2 failed attempts. Right guard number 51 appears to injure his head on the play, and Texas is going to take the lead to start off this one. However, it will be a blocked extra point. So Texas gets the pick 6 off of what was more so just a tackle, a nice quarterback hurry, and almost a sack right there that led to Steve McGee throwing the bad pass. With Stephen McGee in this offense, not even a minute into this game. And then here we go, just getting plugged up right there. Running game, good start of the game for Mike Goodson. Right, just seemed like a game of pinball as well with Mr. Stephen McGee. Number 1 team in the country, remember, 60%. 4 third down conversions. His team's getting things done. And speaking of getting things done, it's going to be a nice pass out to wide receiver number 5 on this team. Then a nice halfback zone in the shotgun. You haven't really been able to see that work all too well with Javorsky Lane. And speaking of not working all too well with Javorsky Lane, you see the difference when it comes to the speed. What a hole here. I know it was the right guard, number 51, who ended up getting injured. But it's going to be a beautiful hole by this left side of the offensive line. Over pursuit right there by the safety. And it's going to lead to a huge, huge run. Easily the longest run for Texas A&M on this season. And then nice batted down ball right there by cornerback number 4. Again, one of the guys in the running for the Thorpe Award this season. And a pass out. Beautiful tip as well. Another man, cornerback number 43. He is leading the team, I believe, in interceptions. And then what a hit. Right outside linebacker 38. He has 7 interceptions on the season. 7 interceptions on the season. He has 3 tackles already. And this A&M team is just... they're running the ball pretty damn well to start off this game. And speaking of, what a scramble by Stephen McGee. I felt like there's a little bit too much athleticism on this defense to let that shit happen. However, it is what it is. Another first down pass right here to wide receiver number 8. And on 1st and 10, ball going to be handed off to Mike Goodson. He's going to cut it up. However, though, what a hit. I believe that's Earl Thomas that ends up hitting him right there. But it's going to lead to just a 3rd and short. It's going to be yet again another first down for the Texas A&M team. And this is a play action on this one. Fortunately enough, it's a first down for Texas A&M. But, man, that was another huge hole for Mike Goodson. Pass out to wide receiver number 9. It's going to be a 4th down. However, they're going to go for it here on goal. And it's going to be fullback number 24. The faith that the offensive coordinator has in this guy. The faith that Steve McGee could have in this guy. To still hand him off the ball. I know it's the usual suspect around this parts of the red zone inside of the 1-yard line. But the man dropped an easy touchdown pass last week. But Texas A&M is going to stay up by only 8 points, still 1 possession. But Colt McCoy and Stephen McGee, I felt in this game, struggling quite a bit. But however, though, it's going to be a huge play by wide receiver number 2, a touchdown. But however, there's going to be a bullshit flag. This is the most bullshit of bullshit flags. This Texas A&M team should be up 20-6. It should already be 14-point lead, and they're going to save fucking pass interference on wide receiver number 2. On wide receiver number 2, Frank Chaboni is pissed off. And now, after 2 straight incompletions, it's going to be 3rd and 25, and then just gets rocked. Wide receiver number 5. It wasn't, honestly, not a good, smart play right there, throwing it into coverage. Wasn't even going to be a first down had he caught it. And then he put his player into harm's way with that one. But right there, beautiful catch by wide receiver number 6. Going to be a first down for Texas. And then Colt McCoy gets destroyed on that one by D-tackle number 95. You can tell these two teams are looking forward to hitting the shit out of each other. Is that Lima Swede? I believe so. Wide receiver number 4. I'm pretty sure, but I don't know. But right there, right outside linebacker 28, we saw him barely get a pass thrown above him. And then Jamaal Charles, one of the Maxwell hopefuls. He was a Heisman hopeful for most of this season. Just not getting things done. But right there, pan this back. Pretty much looked like a foreshadow. And I wasn't even talking about foreshadow in the likes of this man on the previous play. He just didn't get the interception on that one. But on this time around, right outside linebacker number 28, who's been quiet, it seems like, for most of the season compared to the other linebackers on this team. And what a hit on Stephen McGee. Another good hit on that one, but it's still going to remain 14-6. Nice tackle right there as Mike Goodson. He has 15 rushes on the day compared to Jamaal Charles's 4 attempts. But Jamaal only has 15 yards. We got 15 attempts with Mike Goodson. Mike Goodson has over 130 yards rushing to start off this game. Then, just going to be a boring third down for Stephen McGee. Still, pretty good season right here. I mean, 180, 18 out of pretty much 31. So you're looking at, around 60 or so completion percentage. But just not very efficient for the passing game for either of these two teams to start off the game. And Stephen McGee just going to have to throw it out of bounds once again, as this Texas A&M passing offense just not getting much done. And right there, it was a beautifully thrown ball. It was a nice route, but unfortunately, it's going to be a drop pass for the likes of these guys. And then a nice move by wide receiver number 5. Fortunately enough, player pretty much all the way down the field, about 40 yards or so, able to prevent a touchdown on that. What was already a big play, and then another drop pass. This might be Jermichael Finley, I believe, who drops this pass. Has Colt McCoy just looking for anything to get down the field, anything to convert, but it's just not working. I know he gets one-on-one coverage, but again, this has been one of the better cornerbacks in all of college football. Senior, the composure's there, 2 pass deflections, no interceptions so far in this game by him, but he's had several for just this season. And then it's going to be another thrown away ball. It's just going full-on Aaron Rodgers mode, a great read, but not fully a great read as he ends up tackling the wrong player on that one. Jamaal Charles finally in the highlights in a positive light for this team. But however, though, just immediately cuts to cornerback number 4, one of the Thorpe finalists, if I'm correct, getting another interception to add it on to his tally this season. This Texas A&M team has been producing a ton of turnovers through the air. Has this, just trying to finish the season undefeated here. Not much scoring going on since the beginning of that second quarter. As Texas A&M is going to find themselves getting another first down, 3rd and 8. Stephen McGee pass out to wide receiver number 2, who should, in my opinion, have 60 more yards. And speaking of yards, 96 yards by Texas compared to the 245 total yards by Texas A&M. This should not be a 14-6 game, but what a move by Stephen McGee. What should have been -2 yards ends up turning into around 15. Nice cut move by Mike Goodson, and Texas A&M's getting down the field. This is what the difference is right here. 19 rushes, 140 yards, almost 200 yards on the day as Stephen McGee's about to get himself. But speaking of big plays, another touchdown. We saw him last week drop it against Oklahoma. It was wide open. No problems. He wasn't really needed against Missouri. It turned out in the second half, defense played beautifully. Only gave up a couple of big touchdowns against Jeremy Maclin and company. But speaking of the company for this team that we need to worry about, and that's fullback number 24, Mr. Alexander. Texas A&M goes in for their 3rd score of the day, and what a catch by Mr. Lima Swede. It's going to be another first down here for Texas, and then nice hit by linebacker number 37. Texas A&M still 21-6, and a big hit by D-tackle number 95 on Jamaal Charles. Just not much having for this man. And then this should be the biggest play for Texas so far today. Not quite a touchdown again. Free safety number 26, the Lone Ranger out of this group, to not be on the Thorpe semifinalist awards. It's going to be free safety number 26, but however, though, that does not mean he hasn't made his impact. Michael Bennett trying to get down the field, but the faster of the two ends up chasing him down, preventing a huge confirmed touchdown. However, though, on the next play, it's going to be a touchdown right here to Lima Swede. Should have been picked off had it been read easier by the strong safety, but A&M still finds themselves up by, I believe, 9 points at this point. 4 catches on the day, 48 yards, a touchdown by wide receiver number 4, Lima Swede, as Texas trying to gather itself back together, get some momentum against this Texas A&M team. But however, though, I mean, it looks like this guy's season is went just in fucking shambles. Just because he didn't get a 2-point conversion, you still got a full quarter, Mr. Charles. And you're Texas. You got a better, talented team than we do. But it is what it is. Only 107 passing yards at this point of the game. 21-12. Another first down right here for Texas A&M. And another hitch route to wide receiver number 8. This team continues to roll now. This is going to be, yet again, another first down pass. Wide receiver number 8. It's been more so 5 and number 2 in the second half of the season for Texas A&M as the safety blankets. But this team's trying to get their way down the field, and right there, just wide open. Could have ran a nice little cut move, but to improve it by 3 more points, barely squeezes it in. And that is kicker number 7, one of the best in the country apparently. I don't know why. He doesn't even have double-digit attempts on this year. And yet, he's one of the best kickers in the country. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me, but it is what it is. Now, technically up by twice their score, yet the game is much closer than you'd imagine. And just bad defense right here by just a rare occurrence of bad defense in which tight end number 16, Jamaal Finley, big target and a big catch getting down the field just under a minute 20 as the clock is continuing to run for Texas. Colt McCoy, however, though, gets sacked on the play. Beautiful pursuit by this defensive line. Ends up being 95 and 85 getting together. Or I believe 95 and Michael Bennett getting together after Mr. Bryant, number 85, who used to be the captain for this team. And wow, almost gets picked off right there. Almost also gets swatted. But now third down for Texas, and it's going to be a nice catch by Jamaal Finley. 50 seconds left in this one. 1st and 10. Play action by Colt McCoy, and make it another touchdown right there to wide receiver number 5. 24-18, and a huge. It was well needed. Now, at this point, Texas A&M would have only been up by 5 points if they are going to recover this onside kick. Texas A&M now setting up an onside positioning and barely gets this one right here as it's going to be the end of the game. Texas A&M, number 6 in the country, number 5 in BCS ranking. What's going to happen with the rankings coming up? Number 6 in the country, just beat number 7. So they've cleared their way through one of the big conferences. Still need to play what is going to be Nebraska in the Big 12 championship. It's going to be interesting to see what's ahead of us. What is Nebraska going to bring this time around? It wasn't Lincoln last time we beat the living shit out of them in the second half. And Jaworski Lane's going to be back by then. So let's see how it is. Hopefully we get to 13-0. As always, fellas, take it easy.